we often feel very hurt. Somebody says something, somebody has not apologized, somebody has, bitched about us, somebody has stabbed us in the back, somebody has played politics with us. So every now and then in our personal and professional life, we often feel hurt. And we don't know how to deal with this hurt. And so we carry on with this hurt feeling day in, day out, which actually reduces our productivity, which actually pulls us down. Our motivation level goes for a toss. And so this is the time for us to take charge of our life and handle that feeling of being hurt or feeling of being betrayed. So today in my video, I'm going to be sharing with you how do you handle that feeling of being hurt, being betrayed, because hurt is real, but healing is within your reach. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, You with Sonia on Thinking Thursdays. And yes, grab your cups of coffee. Before we start with the episode, please hit the subscribe button if you've still not subscribed to my channel, and let's get started with the episode. They doubted you when you were at your lowest. They walked away when you needed them the most. They made you question your worth, your voice, and your identity. And still, you're here, still breathing, still standing, and still fighting. This isn't about pain anymore. It's about what you do with that pain. Whether you let it consume you or whether you turn it into the most powerful weapon you've ever had, which gives you clarity, which gives you purpose, and which makes you even more successful than what you are today. We live in a world that worships moving on, right? Every time you're hurt, every time you're feeling low, what do people around tell you? Yeah, move on. Everything is going to be fine. Chill. Don't take so much of stress. Just move on. Now, moving on is not like, switching on, switching off of any switch that you have in your house. But what people forget is that the sacred act of sitting with your wounds will actually make you overcome whatever hurt feeling that you have. So if somebody says move on, take your time. Don't listen to them right now, because you need to first listen to your own heart. Feel that hurt, feel that pain, sit with your wounds for some time, and then, it'll be much easier for you to move on. You are being told by many people in your life, your family, your friends, your cousins, your relatives, your colleagues, you're being told that you need to be strong, so don't cry, let it go, just flush it out. But the real strength here is in the rawness, because most people, they want to escape pain very quickly. We distract ourselves with work by getting deep down into our work, or we get on social media, endless hours, we keep scrolling, our mind is somewhere else, but we are scrolling something on social media, and we have these numb behaviors. We start binge watching, binge eating, scrolling endlessly. But the emotions that are buried alive, they don't die, they build up. Hurt demands to be acknowledged. Every feeling that we have inside us, we need to acknowledge that feeling. And hurt is also part of the same process. So please start acknowledging that you are being hurt. So the first step to healing is not pushing the pain away, but allowing yourself to feel it first. So sit with it. You can name it whatever that you want, that, I'm disappointed, distracted, somebody stabbed me, somebody created this, whatever, that I'm unlucky in love. So you want to give it a love name to it. You didn't get your promotion, so you want to give that promotion is the name that, my boss hates me. So whatever, you can name it also, but you need to accept that, yes, you are feeling hurt. So please don't numb it. Don't distract yourself from it. Let yourself feel the weight of it, the betrayal, the heartbreak, the abandonment, the silence. Because when you truly sit with the pain, it loses the power to control you. Think of a person who just lost a parent but had to keep working. Everyone started expecting them to bounce back. It's all right. I know it's a very big loss, but time will heal everything. So please, just take it easy and don't think too much. You will bounce back. Just move on. But grief doesn't come with a deadline that, in 10 days you'll be fine, or 24 hours you'll be fine, or 1 month you'll be fine, or Take the example of, say, a woman who just came out of a 10-year-old or 5-year-old toxic marriage, and people tell her, enjoy your freedom now, huh? But inside, she's still bleeding. So these are the moments that need stillness and not speed. You don't need to apologize to anyone for being hurt, but you owe it to yourself to heal honestly, without any guilt, without pretending. Many of us, we've had our bad relationships that we've been in. We were in love and then somebody ditched us, or, our friends ditched us. We feel bad about it, right? We feel hurt about it. And, other people will come and tell you, move on, find somebody new. It's not that easy. And none of it actually works also. If somebody tells you to move on, can you move on? Instead, what you should do is you should give yourself the permission to grieve the loss, whatever the loss has been. Maybe you can go for long walks together, listen to some music. If you want to write down what your emotions are, you can start writing it down. If you feel like crying, please cry if you want to cry. But it should not be like a very long zone that you get into. But if you want to cry, please cry. And slowly, gradually, you will see that you are now beginning to heal. So you cannot heal by rushing through the pain, but by respecting it. See, you can't heal when you refuse to feel about it. There's a saying, you can't heal what you refuse to feel. Let the storm pass through you. It won't stay there forever. And here you also need to start talking it out, because silence will make it worse. Hurt thrives in isolation. When we're in pain, it's easy to withdraw and think that no one will understand you. But the act of sharing, whether with a friend or a therapist or a mentor or a colleague, can bring you some clarity, can give you some comfort, and even, you can get some unexpected solutions. So speaking about pain does not mean that you're weak. It means that you're brave enough to face it with support. See, you lost your job through a company restructuring. You're embarrassed. You're feeling ashamed that what will people think, that I was not capable enough, or I was not a good employee, hence I lost my job. So, instead of getting into that zone of being embarrassed and ashamed and don't tell anyone, whereas you feel that, you need the support of people around you. So you avoid your friends, you avoid talking to your family for some time. But after a point, you will realize that, there is so much building inside you that you want to share it with somebody. And then, share it with the right person, somebody who encourages you, somebody who's a positive mindset, somebody who will, pull you up, someone who will show you that, losing something is not about, end of life. It's about restarting or starting a new chapter of your life. Because when you start talking to people, you get some new fresh perspective, and maybe within some time, within few weeks, you will land up new opportunities that will actually value you as an employee more, that will pay you better what you deserve. The moment you speak your truth, the weight of your pain will lighten up. You don't have to go through this entire thing all alone. Your silence is not your strength if it's breaking you inside piece by piece. So talk to someone. Someone will listen to you, but talk to somebody whom you trust, whom you value, whom you look up to. Right? And this is something like, I've seen many people when they hurt, they look forward to the other person apologizing to them. And so they keep waiting. When will the other person apologize to me? And that's when I will get the closure. So don't wait for closures. You need to close that chapter yourself. It's in your hands. What the other person had to do, they've done. And they've moved on. They are living peacefully, they're sleeping peacefully, they're eating, they're laughing, they're watching movies, they've made new friends. So they've moved on. They're not even bothered about you. So why are you in that zone? You like back in time, you're still standing where that episode happened. Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to torture yourself? Sometimes the hardest truth to swallow is this: they won't come back to explain or to apologize to you. They will not come back. You'll never get a text message. You'll never get a call from them. You'll never hear those words. And the longer you wait, the bitterness will set in even more deeply inside you. So here you have a choice. to end this story on your terms. Closure is not like an apology. It's a moment when you stop rereading the last chapter again and again and again, but instead you start writing your next chapter. So if you waited for 2 years or 5 years to hear why he or she left you with no explanation, you will replay all those old conversations, the good times that you've had. You'll dissect every word of last couple of weeks. How did that week go? How come it ended on a sudden note without any explanation as to why the other person has moved out of your life, until one day you take those screenshots, you delete the thread, and you say it aloud to yourself that this no longer defines me, that this will be your closure. You are allowed to leave the table when love is no longer being served, whether they understand it or not. It's not your problem. And sometimes, finding a very creative outlet can actually, take care of that hurt feeling that you have when you start giving pain a voice of its own. Because let's be honest, anger and hurt are powerful, right? We agree with that. But you can either burn yourself in them or use them to light your path forward. Let your hurt become your hustle. Let it sharpen your discipline, your focus, and your hunger. So don't just heal, but evolve. Let the pain mold you into someone they never saw it coming. Because hurt always needs a way out. Creativity, is a very powerful channel for releasing emotions that are hard to verbalize. Whether it is through writing, painting, music, dance, or even gardening, cooking, creating something gives pain a form. It becomes a story, it becomes a color, it becomes a painting, a movement, an expression that gives release. And release always brings you relief. I remember during the pandemic, which happened in 2019, 2020, we were all alone at home. So it was just me and my brother. And of course, the feeling of isolation, you can't step out of the house. And how many times can you just connect on a call with somebody? And people were feeling very sick at that time. And whenever you were calling people also, they knew that in their neighborhood, so many people had fallen sick. Somebody got COVID, somebody was not well, somebody was recovering, somebody lost some of their closed ones. So it was not a very pleasant scenario during the pandemic time. And so when you're at home, you're feeling isolated, you're feeling depressed, your motivation levels are down. And I remember that I started sketching, I started painting. And that was something that I used to do like 2 hours in a day. I used to dedicate to painting or sketching. And that actually channelized my feeling of isolation and depression. And I started looking forward for those 2 hours window, the time that I had set for myself. I used to really look forward to that time. So please try and channelize this hurt feeling or feeling of isolation or being depressed, channelize into something that will give you a very new perspective of life. So you may not be able to speak about the pain, but you can paint it, you can write it, you can build it, dance it, let it flow through you. Always remember that when words fall short, creativity speaks. So pain can be your downfall or can be your rise. Only you get to choose that. And many times I've seen that, we feel hurt because we've not set any boundaries. Our friends take us for granted. Our relatives take us for granted. Our colleagues are taking us for granted because we've not set any boundaries. We are not protecting ourselves from other people who might take us for granted and eventually they might hurt us. So you need to start setting some healthy boundaries for yourself because you can't heal in the same environment that is hurting you. No matter how much you love them, no matter how loyal you've been, you deserve safety. You deserve emotional clarity and you deserve some space. So start setting some boundaries, which is an act of self-love. It's not about punishment, it's about preservation. Because sometimes the source of hurt is not just a situation, it's people, it's toxic relationships, it's constant criticism that we get, it's unrealistic expectations of people around us. They drain us emotionally. So, setting boundaries is not about cutting people off, it's about deciding what behaviors you will and will not allow. So, protecting your peace is an act of self respect and not being selfish. If you think that, every time you go for dinners with your some extended family, or you go socializing with your office, some group or some colleagues of yours, and you realize that, every time you going out socializing with them, you becoming the center of laughter for them. They are cracking jokes on you. They are making you feel small. So instead of, that you want to be part of that group, you just kind of take a step back. You avoid going out with them. You say no to them whenever they ask you out. And I'm sure slowly, gradually, they will realize that, maybe this is the reason the person is not coming with us. Have you ever felt like that, you are being treated as the punching bag? Anyone who's in trouble will come and, ask you for advice. If somebody is angry, they will come and, let go their frustration onto you. You become that agony aunt, or somebody who, who's always looked up to for advice, or somebody's crying, they need a shoulder, they'll take your shoulder, right? So if you become that shoulder to the other people, you are basically draining your energy. So there you need to draw a line, that when you can lend your shoulder and when, your shoulder is not available to other people. I have practiced this in my life. I remember there was a time in my personal life that I was running helter skelter, making my career and also taking care of the house. And that's when I made a rule in my personal life, and I told my father about it. I told my, my relatives about it, that in a week, 4 days are yours, 3 days are mine. No questions asked. I get my space. I get to go out, meet my friends. Even if I want to go watch a movie, I want to come home a little late, do a night over at my friend's place. If I just want to go sit by myself, read a book, or just hang out with my own self, I used to do that, and no questions asked. Sometimes it's required for you to speak up about your boundaries, because every time you say no to what is draining you, you're actually saying yes to your peace of mind. You're actually teaching people how to treat you by what you tolerate. So please guard your heart. Not everybody deserves an access to it. You don't need to explain your boundaries to anyone. If they make someone uncomfortable, that's a confirmation that it was necessary. And here I'd also like to add that healing reaches a whole new level when you start using your hurt to help others. Every painful experience has a potential to become a powerful story. Your scars are proof that you have survived, and they might be the very thing that gives hope to someone else. Turning pain into a purpose does not erase the past, but it transforms it into something which is very meaningful. So you don't need revenge. You don't need to scream on top of your voice, or you don't need to post on social media that this has happened. I'm like, I'm done with this person or whatever, because you don't need to prove to anyone. Let your healing itself speak about it. Let your calm speak about it. Let your results speak about it. We come across so many motivational people, so many people who encourage others. Someone who had a cancer and actually survived the cancer treatment, and now they're leading a very healthy life, and how they actually motivate other people by sharing their experiences, by telling them, by keeping a positive mindset. This is what I did, and these were the struggles I went through, but eventually this is what worked. And so, by sharing your story with the other people who might be also going through your kind of situation, will actually, it'll give you that feeling that I'm doing something for other people who might be in a situation that I was in. Some people start writing, say, wellness blog because they lost their very closed ones to maybe heart illness or a heart attack or to cancer. They start organizing some health camps. They do some motivational talks to a lot of gatherings. Maybe they do corporate talks just to motivate people, just to make people aware of the situations. Here, what you're doing is your pain is giving birth to a purpose, which is actually then touching thousands of lives. Life is beautiful. No matter, it's like, life throws lemons at you, you make a lemonade out of it, right? So I think these things, whenever you're in pain, see how your pain can be converted into a purpose that translates into how you can actually touch many people's lives. Because eventually, you didn't go through the pain for nothing. Someone will need your story. Let it become someone else's light. So don't just go through the pain. Grow through it. Your story can be someone else's survival guide. Have you ever thought about it? So don't waste your energy on people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Build a life so loud that your silence becomes the loudest mic drop for everyone. And before I end my episode, I just want to say my final words that hurt is inevitable. Healing is intentional. So no matter how it shows up, maybe in the form of loss, rejection, failure, betrayal, hurt is going to be part of our life. Hurt is going to be part of being alive. But that should not define you. It's okay to break. It's okay to cry. It's okay to slow down. But what matters is that you choose to rise again, even if it is very slowly, step by step, breath by breath. So feel it, speak about it, express it, but guard your peace of mind. And if you rise from that situation, then start helping others who might be in a similar situation. It's the harsh truth. No one gets through life without getting hurt. What defines you is not what happened, but it's about what you choose to do with it. You can hold the pain in your hands without letting it become your identity. You can forgive without forgetting. You can rise not to show to them, but to become you again. Remember, next time you're hurt or you're betrayed or you're feeling lonely or isolated, always remember you're not behind, you're not broken. You're just becoming more you every step of the way. With that, we come to the end of our episode. I really hope that you found value. And yes, hit the subscribe button if you've still not subscribed to my channel. Do share this video with your friends and colleagues, and do share how you deal with your hurt. Have a great day, everyone, and I'm going to see you in my next video. Bye-bye.